Okay, I'm here at Wanoga. This is a snowmobile trail. No grooming out here, but it's just a couple inches on top of whatever was here, so it's great. This is going to be a continuation of my etiquette ideas. Here's a trail right in front of me that honestly I'm not real sure what this trail is. I know sometimes there's a cross-country track beside this snowshoe track, but today you can see it's only been snowshoers and the cross-country track is basically invisible. So if I'm going to ski this, I'm skiing in the snowshoe track, you know. As a matter of fact, even if, this is just a better packed trail, even if there's fresh snowshoe tracks in here right now. But even if there wasn't fresh snowshoe tracks in here right now, I would probably ski this rather than over there, because that's 8 inches. That's really deep, wet snow. And here, I can tell by the way this is, it would have been an easier ski here, even if these snowshoers hadn't have been here. And so I'm skiing on the snowshoe track, which probably isn't a big deal. But if I turn around, and especially if those snowshoers hadn't been here today, and I skied that, and then I could turn around and ski it, it would look like a ski track. Especially if the snowshoers hadn't been here today. Because all you would see would be the flat, possibly parallel tracks in here, although that's kind of a weird thing with my skis. But I do put in parallel tracks, but they're a little wide, obviously. I ski real narrow together. It's not a hindrance to people with skinny skis. But then you'd have these ski tracks, yet snowshoers would be thoroughly okay tromping on those ski tracks because it's their trail. And that is not a groomed trail. So go up and find some other stuff. Kind of an aside here, because I did this yesterday. You can see how much fresh snow is on. I'm the first person to put tracks on a 3 psi outer loop today. I just went like 100 feet in because I'm not doing this today. But just to kind of show there's parallel tracks here now. Then I bet you if you went to the website it says it's groomed, but it's not really. And that's most frequent. Oftentimes, like this is just a couple inches. Sometimes you can hardly ski it, it's so deep, And as a matter of fact, sometimes you can hardly even find the trail, It's so obliterated that even that big dip that the snowmobile creates, the trail disappears and you have to rely on the poles and the flags to navigate. And even sometimes, like I've done 3 psi, I'm pretty sure more than anyone, and I still occasionally get lost out there in bad conditions and just give up and turn around. But anyway, onward. Skiing on this fresh snow has given me a couple of thoughts on safety. I think I know there have been times when I've been skiing and it's storming, windy and snowy, and it's just coming down. Could have even surprised you, like maybe it wasn't that bad when you started and it picked up or something. But and maybe you're in an area that you're not too familiar with. Sometimes you end up doing like an out and back. And basically you kind of want to follow your tracks back as a way to navigate. Which of course, this is a little bit more old school thinking. here, because now we mostly use our phones for navigation, hopefully. But, you know, maybe you don't want to pull your phone out of your pocket. Maybe your battery's low. Maybe you don't want your phone getting wet because it's so stormy. You want to go in the same track because it's getting filled in so quick. It's like everybody that's out there should be using the same track to try to keep the track as visible as possible. I've definitely been in that situation a number of times. And then there's another thought. It's escaping me. I'll get back. Okay, I remembered my other thought. And this one is abstract and unusual and an exception to the exception, I would say. But, you know, kind of worth thinking about in the big picture. Emergencies. You know, if I'm out here, well, if you're anywhere doing anything, and say, like right now, I'm actually kind of skiing in the unbroke snow because it's a pretty good ski, pretty easy. Only a couple inches today. But if I had a lot of snow to work through, I might follow the established tracks. And if I had an emergency, like a heart attack, which I have been in a heart attack situation, not personally, but I've been in the presence of somebody who needed an emergency rescue. They ran snowmobiles out, you know, out to swampy lakes on the ski trails. You know, they can run emergency vehicles on the tracks, but also if it's a lesser kind of emergency, like you're just bonked, seriously, you know, or you're lost, or you sprained an ankle, or whatever. The weather's turning bad and you really think you got to get back quick. In the straight line, you know, whatever your self-rescue is, the straight line to the parking lot happens to be a route that, according to etiquette, you shouldn't take, you know? But at that point, I suggest you take the proper route, self-rescue, if appropriate. And don't feel guilty about ruining tracks if it's an emergency situation. So, you know, that's obviously kind of a weird one. Almost hesitate to bring it up, but I did bring it up. So I'm circling that butte right by Wanoga. I don't know the name of the butte. I know it's not Wanoga Butte. Anyway, I'm realizing I'm following another skier today, or two maybe, but I am consistently making my own track because it feels better to me. And I know I've heard people express that before. I'm not the only one that occasionally prefers. Sometimes it's smoother. Like, I don't know what it is about, like, if I was to get in that track, I think I'd basically be more susceptible to ankle roll. This snow is real conducive to this, but if I, you know, it doesn't matter on this wide thing now. A snowshoe could obviously go over there, but there are times where skiers get kind of wide, either because of what I'm doing here, or maybe for social reasons, conversing side by side, making a track kind of wide. And then a snowshoer comes along and he's like, where do I go? Basically, sometimes they'd need to pick a path to destroy or alter, I would put it. But yeah. Well, that's a great little climb coming around this butte. Here's another I think, point of note is this little track here. You can see it's snowed in, but people ski up and snowshoe up that a lot to get to the top of the butte here. There's some good skiing in there, but it's very, very often hard to follow. And I suggest, whether you're a skier or a snowshoer, you use a singular track for sake of leaving an indent like that. The more people that use a single track, the more that indent's going to be visible. Here today, we've only had there's more here on the west side of the butte. It's like 3 or 4 inches, but obviously sometimes it gets to be a lot more, and that track can almost disappear. So it's nice to have, I think, a unified track there. Okay, I'm coming off the snowmobile track here and entering it's really, as far as I know, not anything. I mean, it's an old abandoned dirt road is what it is. It gets used a lot at the 24-hour mountain bike race, and I think maybe some of those other races up here. But the snowmobiles go that way. And it's not a marked trail, but it gets used all the time. Like, I do this a lot, or I do 3 PSI more, but I do this quite a bit too because of that climb is a good little workout. And it's pretty rare that I don't know, a very lot of times I come through here and there's already tracks. Yet it doesn't receive a lot of use. Like, you can always, somebody's always been through or not. And if so, it's like 1 or 2 people and that's it. It's lightly used, but consistently. And it's a narrow corridor. Even here, you can see the slope on the side is, especially, I don't know if it shows in the camera, but right here, that's a very steep slope. You wouldn't really want to snowshoe on that, and you can't go over here. There's really kind of a single corridor here that makes sense. And further up, it's not just the steep slope and the trees on one side. There's spots where it's trees on both sides that really force everybody into the same track. And I definitely see snowshoe tracks through here sometimes, and I think that's thoroughly appropriate. Here's an example of one of the pinch points here. And talking about multi-use, as you go down this, when it's busy, which it's not today, it's so great, you will have sleds in here too, because I'm heading towards the sledding hill. They may not come this far up sometimes, but at some point, look at this thing I'm gonna have to duck under. That's what makes skiing dangerous. Okay, yeah, there'll be sleds up here and post holing and all kinds of stuff. And you can't really get upset. It's like the little kids say, "Mommy, I want to go sledding up there." What are you going to do? Whoa. Well, and now we're entering the final segment, the sledding hill, which I'm not going to run my camera out there because, one, it's kind of challenging. Sometimes I don't think it'll be today, but also I just don't want to film people up close. For some reason that feels weird to me, but that's obviously an area where anything goes because stuff just gets trampled there all the time. So I'm sure that's kind of a ticky-tacky one, but it's true because I ski across it quite frequently. And I guess I'll throw this one in since I'm throwing in stupid little ones. But there's a bathroom over there and all these little trails around here. People do whatever they want in here. This trail kind of goes from the dog pack area to the bathroom, I guess. And I don't think it's technically a trail. It's just kind of a point-to-point thing. I mean, obviously, even here, there's some pinch points, like getting through these trees right here. That's an access to the parking lot, but it's like a 4-foot drop because the ODOT's awesome clearing today. Okay, getting back to dog trails. So I think that's about it for today. 15 minutes. Oh my God. Sorry. Okay, this one was actually kind of a joke when I first thought of it. Access ramps are all users. And then I thought, especially if you make it, like I made this one this morning. And then I started thinking, actually every track I make is a shared use trail because I give permission to everybody to use my tracks. So that's the end for this video. Thanks for watching.